Sometimes.
Well, Josh, what do you want to do now? Should we talk about? You want to talk about Avs? Or you want to talk about the Nuggets? I like the Nuggets subject a little bit more.
Well, if it's
Especially with
Josh,
a guy,
if it's Josh, he's going to pick basketball every time.
well,
I know
especially
that.
a guy who used to be the beat writer for this very paper covering the Denver Nuggets. How long ago was that?
About 3 centuries. Peach basket era.
That was close to when you first got here, right?
3 centuries ago.
Yeah, 3 decades ago.
3 decades ago.
Set shot. Who were the best
All right,
set shot guys?
hey guys, all kinds of rumors right now
Right.
that the Nuggets are going to blow things up. That they want to move some of this dead weight, this big payroll. JaVale McGee getting paid a lot of money, can't stay on the court. Danilo Gallinari getting paid a lot of money, can't stay on the court. What are you expecting to happen here? Are the rumors true?
All right.
Is this team going to go that route and just start moving everybody off, collecting draft picks, talent, dumping salary, etc.?
GM Tim Connolly has, since he's gotten here, put his stamp on this team, hasn't been able to do it. Has worked for a big trade, has worked for a big free agent sign. Hasn't happened yet. But as far as dead weight, how are you going to trade Gallo or McGee now?
McGee's going to be near impossible to move, but Gallinari, if he's gone only 3 weeks, I get him healthy and I move him, especially now that he's got 2 bad knees.
Okay, I got you. Gallo was never such an outstanding athlete at the NBA level that if his health is compromised, that he's going to be able to be an effective player. The bigger questions to me for Tim Connolly are, do you want to continue to build around Ty Lawson? He's your best player. But is he one of the top 10 point guards in a league loaded with great point guards?
Questionable.
I'm not sure that he is. And number 2, it's been obvious from the time Brian Shaw walked in the building that he's not comfortable with Kenneth Faried in his offense. Kenneth Faried thinks he's a superstar, especially after he got that world championship gold medal. Brian Shaw thinks he should be a 6th man. I mean, maybe Shaw has never said that, but it's obvious.
Yeah.
So there's your disconnect between one of your more talented players and your head coach. So you can fire the head coach and make Faried a star, or you can ship Faried. It's pretty simple to me.
They need to blow things up?
They do need to blow things up. I like Brian Shaw. His wife and my wife are friends. We've gone to dinner. I like Brian Shaw.
Nice guy.
He's a great guy, great storyteller, very funny. I went to a barbecue at Brian's house. All the coaches were there. The GM was there. All great guys.
So what are you guys, like BFFs now? What's the deal?
Yeah, we exchanged Christmas cards.
I didn't know you were so close to him.
I'm working my way into the NBA world as well.
Can you be objective about this?
No, I can't. I can't at all.
Well, at least you're honest. That's all we ask.
I think they should give Brian Shaw a contract extension.
There you go.
But in having
17 years.
In having conversations with those guys, they are clearly frustrated with the attitude, some of the perspectives the guys bring to practice every day and to the game day. So they weren't complaining about them as players, more about the character and the professionalism and those kind of things. And if you, as a professional athlete, if I got to beg you as a coach to show up prepared to play or to practice, then you don't deserve to be here. And things do need to be blown up, because we're not dealing with a X's and O's or we run the right scheme thing. It's a character thing. And then if character is an issue, you have to get rid of the bad character guys and change the mix.
I agree. I've never been to a barbecue at the Shaw's residence, so I can't speak to that. But I can't speak to...
His wife, Nikki's a great cook. You should do it.
I know. She's
do
great.
it.
That much I do know. She is an excellent cook.
If we invite you back, can you get her to send us some food?
Oh, yeah.
Because we
There
can
you
eat.
go.
We can eat on
He's
this show.
in.
Yeah.
He's here tomorrow, man. This is what I do know, that Brian Shaw is frustrated because he hasn't been able to establish the culture that he wants to establish. So either
Wait, why is that, Mark? Is it because he has trouble establishing a culture, or is it because the guys on the roster won't let him establish that culture?
And if you're Tim Connolly or Josh, not Josh McDaniels, Josh Kroenke, if you're the boss, you have to make that decision.
Figure that out. Yeah.
Figure that out. Is it because you have the wrong guys to play for Brian Shaw, or is it that your young head coach or your first-time head coach can't figure out how to get his message across. If you believe in your coach, then there's more reason to blow it up. And if you think your coach is a good guy and his wife makes a mean barbecue, but he's just not quite ready to command a room or command a practice, then you get a different coach.
What if blowing it up means both the players and the coach?
Well, that's almost the mindless way of doing it. It's like, well, we'll blow up the coach and we'll blow up the roster, and then that will give us 3 years to fans. Now we're just redoing this whole thing. Come have fun. You throw the basketball from half court over his head.
But then you hire a new coach, you got to bring the coach in first, so you can have a conversation with the coach and GM about what kind of culture we're trying to create, what kind of locker room we're trying to create, what kind of team do we want to be. So I'm not sure if blowing the whole thing up is the way to go about it, because you have a guy in Brian Shaw who's got a tremendous pedigree and background. Same thing Josh McDaniels had, and I'm not trying to tie those guys together.
No,
but
as a player and as an assistant coach.
Yeah, but coming in, Josh McDaniels also had a great pedigree and background.
See, I think it's actually fair to bring it up, because I've heard from a lot of fans through Twitter or social media or whatever that compare the two directly. I happen to think that Brian Shaw is a lot more comfortable in his skin than Josh McDaniels.
Yes, I would agree with that. I would certainly agree with that.
And now maybe it's that Brian Shaw isn't quite as great a basketball guy as McDaniels was a football guy. But if you have a choice between the two of leader of men or X's and O's, you're taking leader of men and manager every single time in my book. So I think Brian Shaw can get it right. And so if you're Tim Connolly and Josh Kroenke, you say,
let's get him the right guys.
Let's get him the right guys. That's.
Do you move Ty Lawson? If you have a chance? Obviously, it depends on what you get in return.
Right.
So if you're going to move Ty Lawson, what should you be getting in return?
See, this is the other deal with my idea, is that it's easy and it's common actually in the NBA. Let's blow it up and hope we get the second pick in the draft in the right year when it's LeBron or somebody like him that comes out. I think each and every trade you make, you have to try to make your team better. If you just blow it up just to blow it up, you could hire me to do that. Right. I could call Atlanta up and say, well, I want to send you Ty Lawson, just send me a box of rocks in return.
Well, would the fans here tolerate trading some of these guys for draft picks and going into rebuild mode?
You have to frame it as hope for the future. You can't call it rebuild mode. Fans are always going to be down for some hope. But but if you're hopeless, there's no. I mean, that by definition, there's no hope. But fans always want to be hopeful. It's short for fanatic, and they want to go into each season excited. I mean, every NFL team at the beginning of training camp breaks down the huddle and says, 1, 2, 3, Super Bowl. And the Raiders know they have no shot, but they're still hopeful.
Yeah.
The fans want that same optimism and that same hope experience, and if they can spin it and sell it as that, then they can blow it up and get away with it.
Have you, 15 years in the NFL, was there ever a time at the beginning of the year where you felt your team just had no shot at winning the Super Bowl?
And there was a few years in Seattle where it was. I expected every time I stepped on the football field to win every single game. Mm-hmm. But I knew a lot of my teammates didn't feel that way. As a Pittsburgh Steeler and as a Patriot, everybody was on the same page. We were going to win every single game. But a few years as a Seahawk, it's like, wow.
That's got to be horrible to go through a whole season like that.
It was tough. And after the game, the wives would hang out waiting for the guys to come out of the locker room. And the other wives would say to my wife, hey, Kristen, where are you guys going to go for dinner? She's like, we lost. Chad's going to want to go home. He's not going to want to go anywhere. He's going to be upset. And the other wives were like, oh, we lose all the time here.
Doesn't make the steak taste any worse.
You still got to go eat. She's like, no.
Have you had the twice baked potatoes?
We lose all the time here.
Yes, you'll get over that. Chad'll be okay.
That's right. Get him an extra scoop of ice cream.
Right. So the hope, the optimism, the expectation of everybody in the organization we're going to win, that's huge, not just for wins and players, but for fans as well.
All right, well, the next few weeks through the February trading deadline should be really interesting over at Pepsi Center, because I believe Tim Conley is an aggressive general manager, and I believe they're going to make some moves if they can. There's some tough contracts to move here, but I think he will do something, and something big.
I'm not versed with the NBA contracts and expiring contracts and what that means till next year. I mean, there's all those weird NBA rules.
There's a lot of I'll trade my shit for your shit.
Yes,
in the
exactly.
NBA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me your
By the
crap.
way, we need to get the swear jar here, don't we? We need,
I'd trade my dunderhead for your dunderhead. Is that better, Mom?
So my wife volunteered to get us a swear jar.
Yeah.
She couldn't find an empty. We want one of those big jars, big like
old
pickle jars,
Sparkles bottles?
with the screw on top. And we couldn't find an empty one, so she went and bought pickles, and we don't eat pickles. So now,
I'll eat
do you guys
pickles.
eat pickles? You got okay. I'll tell you what. I'll bring the pickles in for everybody here, and then we'll be
have a
able to
jar.
empty out the swear jar.
I like pickles.
All right.